Let us step into the journey of a man whose passion, energy, and resilience shook the business world. A man who laughed, shouted, cheered, and fought his way to the top. A man named Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer was not born into ease. He was not born into luxury. He was born in a middle-class household raised by a father who worked hard at Ford Motor Company. And from the beginning, Steve learned something vital, that nothing in life is handed to you, that every step must be earned. At Harvard, Steve studied economics and mathematics. He was brilliant, yet not the obvious superstar. While others chased prestige, Steve chased challenge. He learned discipline, he learned resilience, and he learned that life rewards those who persist. But after Harvard, life tested him. He worked odd jobs. He explored possibilities. He wondered where his place truly was. He faced uncertainty and confusion and doubt. And yet, instead of giving up, Steve made a bold move. He joined a tiny company most people had never heard of at the time. That company was Microsoft. He was the 30th employee, not a founder, not a visionary programmer, but he had something else, unstoppable drive. He worked tirelessly. He believed in the mission. He poured his energy into building something bigger than himself. But with growth came struggle. Microsoft was competing in a brutal technology world. Competitors were fierce, lawsuits came, mistakes were made, and eventually Steve Ballmer became CEO. Right at a time when Microsoft was facing some of its hardest challenges. He was criticized, he was doubted, he was laughed at by the media. Some said he wasn't fit to lead. Some said he was too emotional, too loud, too unconventional. And yet, Steve Ballmer did not quit. He did not bow to critics. He stood tall. He led through the storm. He kept Microsoft profitable year after year. He expanded into enterprise services. He built one of the strongest corporate foundations in history. He may not have been perfect. He may not have won every battle, but he proved that leadership is not about perfection. It is about perseverance. And when he finally stepped down as CEO, people saw his true character. He didn't walk away defeated. He didn't vanish. Instead, he embraced his next chapter. In 2014, Steve Ballmer became the proud owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. Critics mocked him. They said he overpaid. They doubted his vision once again. But Steve didn't care, because he knew something critics often forget, that passion, energy, and commitment can transform failure into success. And today, the Clippers are stronger, more valuable, and more respected than ever before. Steve Ballmer turned his dream into reality, not because it was easy, but because he refused to quit. So what do we learn from Steve Ballmer's journey? We learn that life will test you. You will face hard times. You will face struggle. You will taste failure. But those moments are not the end. They are the training ground for your future success. We learn that passion matters, that showing up with energy matters, that leadership is not about being the smartest in the room. It is about being the one who never stops believing. We learn that critics will always talk, but critics never build empires. Critics never create legacies. Only dreamers, fighters, and believers do. Steve Ballmer shows us that you don't need to be perfect to win. You don't need to have all the answers. What you need is commitment, perseverance, and faith. His life teaches us this. When the world says you can't, when the world doubts your worth, when the world laughs at your passion, stand tall, push harder, and prove them wrong. Because
us that the loudest cheerleader for your success must always be you, that the fire inside must burn brighter than the doubt outside, that failure is not final and struggle is not permanent. So my friends, take inspiration from Steve Ballmer. Face your hard times with courage, face your struggles with energy, turn your failures into fuel and march towards your success with passion so loud that the world cannot help but listen. Because if Steve Ballmer's life teaches us anything, it is this: the greatest power in life is not money, it is not title, it is not fame. The greatest power in life is the will to never quit. And if you hold on to that, if you fight for your dream, if you live with passion and resilience, then your story too will become a story worth remembered.